We are the anchors of Queer News Tonight, and this evening we discuss the queer headlines. Gen Z, with 28% LGBTQ plus identification, defies past generations. Diverse and politically distinct, they challenge conservative narratives, worrying leaders like DeSantis.
In the legal battle between E. Jean Carroll and Donald Trump, a jury awarded Carroll $83.3 million for defamation, thanks to her lesbian lawyer, Roberta Kaplan.
My Hollywood Pride Street Festival, the first 2024 Pride globally, celebrated South Florida's LGBTQ plus community in downtown Hollywood.
Slow Burn Theater Company presents Sister Act, the musical comedy at the Broward Center through February 18th.
Colman Domingo, the prominent out gay actor, makes history as the first Afro-Latino actor nominated in the Oscars Best Actor category. He is also the second out gay man in the awards history to be acknowledged for playing a gay character.
So good evening, folks, and welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ plus daily evening television news, broadcasting live and available on demand. Available on all smart televisions, including Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, Amazon Fire TV, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. It's time to queer up the news. It's Monday, January 29th, 2024. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we're going to tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
This is the world's first live daily LGBTQ evening news show, literally out of the closet and into the headlines on Queer News Tonight.
I am your anchor of Queer News Tonight, FayWhat? And this evening we bring you the news of and perspective representing the LGBTQ plus community from South Florida, America, and across our planet.
This is the world's first and only unedited live LGBTQ plus evening news show. Whatever happens unique in LGBTQ news, you will see it and hear it.
Hotspots Magazine Happening Out Television Network is a nonprofit 501c3 media company in the same model of PBS and NPR, but designed for the LGBTQ plus community. Our mission is to support the 10 pillars of our LGBTQ plus community. We want to inform and educate the key issues of our Black community, Latino, lesbians and queer women, trans, students, youth, seniors, HIV/AIDS healthcare, business, social justice, and faith. Help us support our community.
We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ plus media companies in America, Hotspots Magazine and Happening Out Television Network.
In 2024, our magazine is celebrating 40 years of the LGBTQ plus experience, and our television news, talk, and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ plus and broader community.
That's right. And so let's begin by meeting our anchors. Let's welcome Robert Kesten. Robert believes in universal human rights and has dedicated crucial years of his life to the integration of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights around the world. He conceptualized the UN Decade of Human Rights Education and is now the ED of Stonewall National Museum Archives and Library that we love. Welcome back, Robert.
Thank you.
Tell us about your gala.
Our gala is February 24th. We are honoring the bio person from what's that?
Naiad.
I saw the movie over the weekend just for you, Robert.
And
oh my God, it was so good. I can't wait to see Diana Naiad at your event. Like, I'm just looking forward
She will
to
be
it.
there. The cast from The Stroll will be there, the HBO film, and a number of other people, including Xander Moritz, who is the kid who was famous first for talking about his curly locks, and then for calling out the president of the Sarasota School Board for her infidelities, but chastising her for being prejudiced, not chastising her for her sexual exploits.
That was brilliant. Yeah.
Love him. Next up, let's welcome anchor Dr. Tai Houser. He's a professor of English and Humanities at Broward College and teaches in the College of Business at Florida Atlantic University. He has served as visiting professor at colleges in Bolivia, Brazil, China, India, and Spain, and provides an international viewpoint. Tai owns Linden Bridge, an educational experience company. Welcome back, Tai.
Hey, Faye, it's great to be here. You know, I have not been on the show with you for so long. I miss our little times together.
Me too. You know, last Wednesday, you and me went to trivia night.
It was so much fun.
At the pub with DJ Eric Restivo.
Yeah.
And our team won.
We did.
We know
Faye-
way too much about musicals. That's
Well,
the
Faye
thing.
knew everything about Madonna. I was a bad gay. I knew nothing about Madonna. She got all the Madonna questions. I came in with a couple of musical theater
Yes,
answers.
you did.
Yeah.
Yes, you did, but we won.
Congrats.
Thank you so much. I would tell you our name, but it's a bad word. So I'm not going to
Is
say
it 4 letters?
Is dick
Yes.
a bad word?
Well, it depends on who you ask. right? I think the team name was like We Love Dicks, and I had to be a part of that team. So I had to pretend.
I thought it was because Richard was on our team.
Oh.
I got there late. Tai, thank you. I'm so happy to have you
I thought
here.
that was just a sporting store. Did they close? I don't know.
That's another place too. Next up, let's welcome Dale Stine. I love this man. He's a celebrated photographer in the LGBTQ plus community. He's also the director of music ministry at the famous Unity on the Bay and a moderator of Miami Gay List, South Florida's largest LGBTQ plus Facebook group, which also can be found now on Instagram at @QueerListOfficial. Welcome back, Dale. How are you, Papi?
Oh, it's great to be here, sister.
I love
always
you.
love being with you.
Oh.
And I haven't mentioned it in a while since I've been on the show, but on Instagram, the @QueerListOfficial, any of your events or any of your things that you're, whatever it is, a seminar, an event, a thing, a breakup, I don't know, tag me in your stories and I will happily share them. I do that page pro bono because that's just how I am.
I love that. And you really do cover a lot. I know it's called Miami Gay List, but you cover...
Well, Queer List, and
the
that's why I
queer-
changed it to IG, the Queer List.
But I love that. I love that, and it's always inclusive. It's not just for boys. He always posts things for all kinds of events that are for all the letters in our LGBTQ plus community. So thank you.
You can come up with a newsletter. I'll post that.
It's 26 letters now,
We're hoping to be 52 by the end of 2024.
which is incorporating someone else's alphabet.
Next up, let's welcome anchor Gregg Shapiro. Gregg's ninth book. The last time you were on the show, you only had 7 books. You wrote 2 books in the last week. Gregg's 9th book,
Yes.
Refrain and Light, was selected for the Poetry Mutual 10 Best Poetry Books of 2023. Congratulations, Gregg, on that
you.
achievement.
Thank you.
His entertainment coverage, including celebrity interviews, runs in a variety of print and online publications. Welcome back, Gregg.
I'm so happy to be here. I really am. I'm smiling.
You're just happy to be anywhere.
I'm like, tell your face that, right? We are the reporters for Queer News Tonight, and this evening we begin with the queer headlines. The LGBTQ plus community in South Florida and across America is diverse. Our community across the world is vast. And here are the bullet points of the queer news for today, Monday, January 29th, 2024. Let's begin by queering up students and youth culture. Here's why DeSantis wants Don't Say Gay, as new study reveals 30% of Gen Z identify as LGBTQ+. A recent survey found that more than 1 in 4 adults from Gen Z in the U.S. identify as LGBTQ+. This is a higher percentage compared to previous generations. The survey conducted by the Public Religion Research Institute revealed that 28% of Gen Z adults identify as lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, or queer. In comparison, 10% of all adults, 16% of millennials, 7% of Generation X, 4% of baby boomers, and 4% of the silent generation identify as LGBTQ+. The survey also highlighted that Gen Z adults are more diverse in terms of ethnicity and race. They are less likely to follow established religions and less likely to identify as Republicans. The survey included over 6,600 participants. The president of the Human Rights Campaign, Kelly Robinson, emphasized the importance of LGBTQ plus visibility, especially with the upcoming elections, as Gen Z is seen as a force for positive change. According to the American Civil Liberties Union, in 2023, a record number of over 500 anti-LGBTQ plus bills were introduced into state legislatures, with 75 of them being signed into law. A Gallup poll from last year reported that 7.2% of U.S. adults identify as LGBTQ plus, and nearly 20% of them belong to Generation Z. Queer identification and acceptance is growing the younger the population gets. Gen Alpha may grow even larger than Gen Z. No wonder DeSantis is scared of Gen Z and any generation following it. He deliberately passes laws like Don't Say Gay with the hope to banish the strongly growing sentiment of inclusivity from the upcoming generations who will eventually become eligible voters. Reduction of visibility seems to be his goal. DeSantis is carrying a false hope of bending the narrative in favor of conservatism, but the surveys like these show he is likely going to fail. Time certainly will tell. what an interesting, story. And yeah, I know that like people always say that, oh, you gays want everybody to be gay, right? You make everybody gay. You make everything gay. It's not our fault. We're growing in numbers. I mean, and that's just huge to talk about. We did a whole story on Gen Alpha a couple of weeks ago and how they are going to be taking over the world and making things right? They're being raised with inclusivity already. Mm-hmm. And so, of course DeSantis is afraid of them, I'm more afraid of them not voting. That is my biggest fear, right? Because again, I also, whenever I talk to a Gen Zer or a millennial, they think that we messed up the world for them, right?
Yeah.
And instead of saying, hey, let's take over and let's vote towards the greater good, some are just kind of like just desensitized by the whole thing and are just like, whatever happens, and that's that.
Well, the reason why they're desensitized is because they know that they're not being represented. They know that the voice in government is not theirs. So why should they get involved? Right. Why should they be interested? But the story is correct in that I see it every day. The students are way more progressive and way more embracing.
And way more fluid and way more aware of their sexual identity.
And not even like putting a label on it as such, saying I'm straight, gay, this, and whatever, because it's as you say, it's not fluid enough.
Yeah.
It's too static. Yeah.
Oh, I only hope that by the time the DeSantis spawn come of age, in whatever generation they belong to, that identifying as LGBTQ+ or whatever letter has been added, it's as commonplace as ordinary and ordinary as breathing. I hope it's not a big deal if any of those kids happen to come out.
Well, and I think that's what you see in the numbers from this survey, right? Mm-hmm. Because older generations, it's not necessarily that there were fewer gay people or there were fewer LGBTQ+ identifying people.
Dangerous to come out.
It was too dangerous to come out.
Yeah.
You didn't identify that way. And
But do you wonder if the boomers are less represented because of the huge loss to the community during the AIDS crisis?
Right,
do you think
that
there might have been more?
It's a big point.
Yeah.
It's a big point. I don't meet that many men my age, really.
Don't be telling people your age.
Yeah. No, but it's a thing. It's a true point.
There are many reasons for all of it. And the other thing is that as more and more of the population is different ethnically, it has also changed. And as those generations grow up in the United States, they grow up in a society, especially in the urban societies, that are not prejudiced on those issues. So they're more comfortable. Also, with the greater reflection of LGBTQ people of color on television and in film, you start to feel safer. And it's when you feel safe that you can be yourself. And that's really what we're seeing, is a society that doesn't have time for pretense.
Yeah.
And so more and more people just say, okay, this is just who I am.
And access to information too, social media, which we did not have many years ago, of course.
Yeah.
It's a whole different world.
It's a whole different world, but like Tai said, I mean, it's okay. So Gen Z is born 1990s to 2010s, okay? So that means somebody could be 13 years old right now and a Gen Zer, right? But these Don't Say Gay bills are targeted to them.
Right.
They're the ones that are dealing with this, and they're not even allowed to vote right now, and they're like the biggest hurt from all of this. So it'll be interesting to see. I really hope that this evolution continues, just being fluid and just being more open, and the inclusivity, because they weren't raised how we were,
Right.
But only time will tell. But stick it to DeSantis no matter what.
Well, speaking of people that we can look up to in the queer community, let's queer up lesbian culture. A lesbian lawyer makes Trump pay $83 million in defamation case win. In October 2022, Roberta Kaplan went to Donald Trump's estate, Mar-a-Lago, in Florida, to question him under oath for a lawsuit filed by her client, writer E. Jean Carroll. Roberta Kaplan is an openly lesbian lawyer known for her role in bringing down the Defense of Marriage Act. Carroll accused Trump of sexually assaulting her in the mid-90s. When asked about it, Trump said, quote, "She's not my type." And then he made some dismissive comments about Kaplan's appearance. During the deposition, Trump continued to express disinterest, saying he would not be interested in Kaplan under any circumstances. The exchange became part of a legal battle that started in 2019 when Carroll filed the lawsuit. It all eventually ended in a Manhattan courtroom on Friday, with a jury deciding that Trump should pay Carroll $83.3 million for defamation. Kaplan makes history in a legal action against a president of the United States. The results are in addition to the $5 million he already has to pay her from a judgment last year for sexual abuse and defamation. Carroll hugged her attorneys when the decision was announced. Her lawyers argued in court that Trump should pay a significant amount for continuously talking about her and attacking her, even after the initial defamation case. The trial had many moments of Trump expressing anger and disruptions, with admonitions directed at his lawyers towards the dictator. At one point, he left the Manhattan courtroom abruptly during Kaplan's closing argument. The case is just one of many, including 92 legal filings against him leading up to the 2024 presidential election. So here's the great thing. These are all great numbers. He doesn't have it. We're going to find out.
Or he's not going to pay it.
Well, both. He doesn't have it, and he's already appealing it, so he doesn't want to pay it. He'll wrap it up in court for so long, we'll forget about it.
Yeah, but he's still even
Carol will never get that money.
Even with an appeal, he has to pay a certain percentage of it.
Is that how it works?
Yeah, 20%-ish or something like that.
Well, and he already was ordered to pay $5 million beforehand, right?
Which he hasn't paid yet.
But he also does have. I mean, that's his whole thing. We know is the making time, just trying to stretch things out and make it just go on forever.
Yeah.
But he's going to end up having to pay something. I mean, he's going to have to pay something.
He's got to pay something.
Well, not if he's reelected.
Okay, so if he's reelected as president, then he doesn't have to pay anything that a court orders him to pay?
In a normal situation, yes, that person would have to pay. But he has already made clear that he's going to change the laws, and he's going to change the operations, and he's going to get rid of anybody who opposes him in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Wow.
So she will be lucky if she's not jailed for attacking him.
Oh my God.
But he's
The whole
he has his way about
he
it.
has
right.
his way.
He does not believe in the rule of law. He does not believe in the Constitution. He's already asked for certain elements of the Constitution to be suspended.
But he can't affect state rulings like this.
Oh, yes, he can.
Well, yeah, because for a federal can trump.
Okay. Unintended.
But to go back to more of the story about Kaplan, the attorney.
Let's call her, first of all, Robbie Kaplan, okay? She's a badass B, Harvard graduate, among other incredible colleges.
So someone in our community to be really proud of, because she really nailed it, and she really, she kicked it. Yeah,
to the point where, I learned sign language at My Hollywood Pride, right? And this means Trump.
Learned all of it.
I learned all of it just working there. But this is Trump, like for the toupee. That's how they say Trump.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that awesome, right? That's Trump. Anyway, that Trump, like a little baby, stormed off. Once that judgment went down.
No,
like a freaking baby.
But it's not he's acting.
It's all part of his shtick.
It's part of the, he's going to motivate these people by doing this, and who knows what's really going on in his head. He is thinking about how it looks to his public, and nothing that he does is without some forethought in terms of its appeal.
But Kaplan, as a strong woman, stands up to that and has gone face to face to him and did a smash job getting that $83.3 million.
Yep. And Robert and Trump, you lost to two women. Two badass women, by the way.
Hello.
Just saying. Robert, what's next?
What is next? Let's queer up South Florida and Florida. The My Hollywood Pride has amazing day to be the 2024 first Pride in the world. On January 28th, just this past Sunday, the third annual My Hollywood Pride Street Festival took place, celebrating the South Florida LGBTQ+ community in downtown Hollywood. It marked the first Pride event of 2024 globally, with the theme Pride Starts Here. The event was presented by the Quadracci Cabrera family, longtime supporters and local philanthropists, partnering with the National LGBTQ Task Force, a leading LGBTQ advocacy organization started in 1973. The collaboration continued the tradition established by My Hollywood Pride. The weekend featured advocacy events, starting with a Circle of Pride business networking event on Hollywood Beach on Friday night, and then the Pride 100 brunch on Saturday morning celebrated Hollywood's 100 score on the Human Rights Campaign HRC Municipal Equality Index, and honored 2024 trailblazer Francesca D'Amore. A Progress Pride flag raising ceremony followed, led by My Hollywood Pride 2024 chair, the wonderful Todd Delmay. The weekend also included the first queer comedy night on Saturday, and the Main Street Festival hosted by Emmy Award-winning news anchor Craig Stevens on Sunday. Craig was joined by the anchor for Queer News Tonight and the host of the FayWhat show, our favorite girl, Friday.
Yeah.
FayWhat. The festival was held on the iconic Hollywood Boulevard, and main stage performances included globally renowned singer and songwriter Janice Robinson, Miss Bouvet, Matthew Darren, and more. Despite challenges in the current environment, the event aimed to stand out as a model for an inclusive family pride event. Attendees enjoyed shopping, local art and apparel, savoring food from local restaurants, and being entertained throughout the day. Even Drag Queen Story Hour was hosted by trans activist Misty Eyes. Everyone at Queer News Tonight congratulates the entire Hollywood community for an amazing weekend. It just goes to show that no matter what laws they pass, no matter what they say, progress will be made, and we're not going back into any closets, and we're not going to be sidelined by the people who are losing the battle. They're losing the battle and they're losing the war. And they can keep passing and they can keep screaming and they can keep talking, but they will lose. And this weekend proved just that you can take over an entire downtown area and do it big time and have people like this joining the crowd and saying, no, we're on the right side of history.
I wonder what all those people thought about sharing the stage with a superstar like FayWhat.
Yeah, right.
They were jealous.
They were. They must have
You know,
been.
it is such a family oriented event, and I've been to 3 years. Every year as we have, and I saw a few people there that I know from Miami and South Beach area, and it was their first time going, and they were really blown away about how charming it was, as well as how. In a grand way, but it maintains its simplicity and its charm by being downtown Hollywood and feeling very, very family oriented. And I think it's really important for us to show the world, especially the non-believers and the haters in this moment in time.
But they make it look like a small town
Yeah.
where everybody is family, and that's what's so amazing
Yeah.
about
Is that
it.
right? And we're a part of many prides, right? And pride is so important, especially this year, right? It's so important, especially in an election year. And we've lost a couple of prides here in South Florida, right?
Yeah.
We can't. That's why these prides are so important, right? And this one being the first pride of the year, even more so. And just like Dale said, there was a couple thousand people there, but you can walk freely. There were kids and pets, and you were able to see a movie at the Paraíso place at the theater. But then, my favorite part, aside from being on stage with all our wonderful entertainers and talent, thank you, Francesca, for putting that together and making me a part of it, was Misty Eyes and her story time.
Yeah.
I was able to go and run over there and see the kids programming, and she had a section for kids. She had a section for teens, and she would just sit there and they would just talk to her. But you could just see how they just adored her beauty, right? These kids are 8, 9, 10 years old, and their eyes are just this big, looking at how gorgeous Misty Eyes looked yesterday, There's no malice in that.
No.
We are not bad people. We're not groomers. I hate kids personally, but we're an inclusive community. And we have children. We have pets. We're
As
normal.
long as they're in their place over there.
You know what I mean? We just, there was a big football game going on. I'm a lesbian, but not that type of lesbian, so I didn't know, right? My wife's there looking at all these red uniforms run across, and I'm like, what is going on? Why does she keep on looking over
we're right next
at
door to
Twin Peaks,
Peaks.
right?
Right,
Well, Twin Peaks is one of those chains of places that has the girls in little outfits like Hooters. So I'm hitting my wife, what are you doing looking at the girls over there? And she was looking at the TV screens because there was a big game going on. There were all these straight people there also with us. Having a good time.
I kept being drawn to that area because that's where the police were hanging out, and they were really hot.
They were.
for sure.
But it's important to recognize that you have to be taught to hate. And
Absolutely.
hate is not a natural phenomenon.
No.
Yeah.
And my Hollywood Pride is the first in the year to prove that if you don't teach people to hate, we're all one big human community.
It's all about love.
And it was a big bold of them to begin with, to start a Pride in January. Remember the first year we thought, wow, that's a big bold move.
Yes, yes.
That's really weird. And then it's Okay.
Now it makes sense. Yeah.
Great way to
I get it.
start.
And and to see people from Wilton, you Wilton boys, some of you don't need to drive,
South
right?
Beach-
Because I
South
have to
Beach
come
boys,
to
too.
you to see you most of the time, right? So to see the Wilton boys come up and then see the South Beach boys
Yeah.
come up, I was like, yes,
Yeah,
like
that was-
yes. Hollywood could be like our middle area where the gangs actually go and have sex with each other.
No.
Okay.
Dale, what's
Next, let's clear up South Florida. Let's move on from that. And Florida. LGBTQ plus community celebrates as Sister Act comes to Broward Center. From February 3rd to February 18th, Slow Burn Theater Company is bringing the hit Broadway musical comedy Sister Act to the Amaturo Theater at the Broward Center for the Performing Arts. This feel-good show is based on the 1992 film and revolves around Dolores Van Cartier, a disco singer who witnesses a crime and finds herself in a protective custody in an unexpected place, a convent. The movie was instantly iconic for the LGBTQ plus community. Initially, it appears as if she's in a difficult situation, but as Dolores befriends the nuns, the convent experiences a shakeup. The musical's captivating score, composed by Tony and Oscar winner Alan Menken with lyrics by Glenn Slater, is a heavenly mix of Motown, soul, and disco. Slow Burn Theater Company's production of Sister Act is made possible through a special arrangement with Musical Theater International. The Broward County Cultural Division, Cultural Council, and Broward County Board of County Commissioners, along with support from the State of Florida, Department of State, Division of Arts and Culture, and the Florida Council on the Arts and Culture, have played a significant role in backing Slow Burn Theater Company. The climactic final scene with nuns' performance in front of the Pope is rumored to have a special local LGBTQ plus guest star playing the Pope. Tickets for Sister Act start at just $54. It's going to be so much fun. For additional details on the show, tickets and schedule, you can visit browardcenter.org.
Pope what?
Well,
It's not me. It's not me, Robert.
It ain't FayWhat.
Robert's like, is it you?
Is it Al? Is it Al Ferguson?
It's Pope what?
is it somebody beloved in the community? It seemed 1992. Can we just talk about that for a second?
Oh.
Take that in.
I mean, whoopee. I mean, it is such an iconic. And aren't they doing something new? Aren't they doing another
They're
film?
supposed to be doing another one, yeah.
There's talk.
Another one, yeah.
But in the meantime, this
Well, they
sounds like
did
it's-
too.
Yeah,
There's
there's going to be a third.
Yes.
The third, yeah.
Yeah.
So I knew there was yet another sequel because it's Hollywood.
Yeah.
So sequel, and but I think it's going to be a great show. I mean, I'm excited to see the secret.
God, do you remember Lauryn Hill being in that in
Lauren,
1992?
so young.
Oh my
Wow.
God! Wow.
Kathy Najimy.
Kathy Najimy,
Yeah,
for
sure.
sure.
Wow. Oh, I loved her.
One of the
I
most
loved
amazing
her.
comics of our time, Catherine Najimy.
Oh, but that.
Well, but
yeah.
congratulations to Slow Burn. I mean, they've had a really stellar lineup this year so far.
Listen, big shout out going out to Patrick Fitzwater, okay? The artistic director. You guys are kicking butt. Last year I got to see Annie, and then I also saw Leaving Las Vegas. Oh my God, it was incredible. You are expecting like a small theatrical stage and low budget, blah, 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 blah. No, like Slow Burn goes all out.
Yeah.
Like it was just, they really do it, and they do it big. So I can't wait to see Sister Act.
Yeah.
Right?
Right? For sure. Now we're going to queer up entertainment. Oscar history as gay actor Colman Domingo plays gay role. He shares first seconds of finding out. Colman Domingo, a prominent out gay actor, is experiencing the nerves of Oscar anticipation as he gets an Academy Award nomination. Recently announced as a Best Actor nominee for his role as gay civil rights leader Bayard Rustin in Netflix's Rustin, the 54-year-old actor with a Hollywood career dating back to the 90s couldn't sleep due to excitement on nomination day. Waking up early, he organized his closet at 5 a.m. while his husband Raul watched the nomination feed. The moment his name was announced, Raul literally laid on the floor and they shared a heartfelt cry. Domingo, reflecting on his 3-decade-long career, expressed the sheer disbelief of receiving such recognition. This nomination marks Domingo as only the second out gay man in the Academy Awards' 95-year history to be acknowledged for playing a gay character, following Sir Ian McKellen in 1998. Domingo sets another milestone as the first Afro-Latino actor nominated in the Oscars' Best Actor category. Humble about his historic achievement, he hopes to pave the way for more diverse representation in the future. Domingo has been rocking the red carpet for years, and queer fans are excited to see what he will come up with this time. At the 2021 Oscars, he wore a fitted hot pink suit. You can watch the Academy Awards and hopefully see Domingo win on March 10th on ABC.
My phone goes off, and I guess the feed was coming in on the East Coast sooner than what my husband was watching. And literally, I picked up and saw, "Congratulations, Oscar nominee," and I just put the phone down like that. I don't. You never know how you're going to react. I literally act like it didn't happen. I was like, "Oh wow," and I put the phone down. Then I hear my name come up in my husband's feed, and then he bursts into tears. And of course, I start crying because he's crying. That was it. It was a comedy of errors in some way. Yeah.
Well, I had the honor and pleasure of interviewing Colman Domingo
in
2016 about the wonderful gay-themed indie flick, Beautiful Something, and it was a delightful experience. And I have to say, his range as an actor, from portraying Maya Angelou reading the Craigslist personal ads on the Big Gay Sketch Show, not to be missed.
No way!
Yes.
I gotta look that up on YouTube.
And to more recent roles, including X in 2020 Zola, and of course, Bayard Rustin in Rustin. It only proves his versatility. I sincerely hope he wins the Oscar because he really deserves it.
The film is amazing. It's so good. I was just riveting. I love it.
Yeah, I hope he wins. I really do. Who's he going up against? Maestro? Who else?
There's so many.
Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer.
Does Oppenheimer ever go away? Like, why are they part of every award show for the last 2 years? That's so not fair. I can't get through the movie, and you still keep on giving these people awards. It's like everywhere, all at once. That they just won everything. I was like, I'm leaving. No one's winning anything aside from this movie. Anyway.
The fact is, there are really good, and a lot of good people didn't even get nominated because there's so many good people. And the same with same with the women. I mean, you've got such an amazing amount of talent out there. And these were pretty good films with unbelievable talent.
Putting all the actors and all the talent aside, though, on that clip, how adorable was he about his husband and him celebrating? It was the cutest little thing. You could feel like the love that he has for his husband and the joy that they got to share in that moment. That was really sweet.
He was organizing his closet.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna organize I'm like, that's so gay. Like, none of us even flinched. We're like, yeah, I can totally see that. And doesn't it mean more to us since he's a gay actor playing this gay role, right? And hopefully winning this Oscar for us. I think it means so much more. And him being the first Afro-Latino. Yes!
And he's amazing in Euphoria, by the way. Also. Euphoria. He's amazing in Euphoria.
I've got to see it there. Well, we're very happy for him, and we will be watching March 10th for sure.
Absolutely.
Next, we are proud of our special partnership with Sunshine Cathedral, the world's largest queer church here in Fort Lauderdale. Supporting that partnership, we are broadcasting from our permanent set here at Sunshine Cathedral at the Happening Out television studios. We broadcast Sunshine Cathedral's international service at 10:30 a.m.
We finished tonight's Queer News headlines with a segment we call LGBTQ plus 1 Minute News.
LGBTQ plus 1 Minute News. Let's queer up South Florida and Florida. Pride Center Rainbow 5K Run happens February 4th. The Pride Center at Equality Park is a hub for LGBTQ plus communities and allies in South Florida, fostering a welcoming and inclusive environment. Pride Center at Equality Park is one of the largest of its kind in America. The center is presenting the 8th annual Rainbow 5K Run on Sunday, February 4th, starting from Holiday Park in Fort Lauderdale. The scenic 3.1-mile course winds through Holiday Park, lined with beautiful trees, and concludes with a variety of vendors at the finish line. Aligned with the Pride Center's Health Initiative, the Rainbow 5K anticipates over 500 participants. Event coordination and promotion are in collaboration with Split Second Timing. Adult registration, $45, and the first 300 participants secure a Pride Center Rainbow 5K Run t-shirt, a drawstring bag, and don't forget your medal. All proceeds go towards supporting the Pride Center at Equality Park's essential services and programs. It's a fun and vitally needed event. Further details and tickets are available on pridecenterflorida.org.
LGBTQ plus 1 Minute News. Let's queer up South Florida and Florida again. Our Fund's 5th annual South Florida Philanthropy Award Show. February 3rd, Our Fund Foundation and Bank of America Private Bank present the 5th annual South Florida LGBTQ Philanthropy Awards at Broward Center for the Performing Arts on February 3rd. The event recognizes exceptional contributions in philanthropy, volunteerism, and emerging leadership. Honorees and guests will engage in a cocktail reception before the ceremony, followed by a thought-provoking discussion with this year's guest speaker, Hannah Cranston, Senior Vice President and Philanthropic Strategist at Bank of America Private Bank. The evening will culminate in the acknowledgement of the 2024 class of South Florida LGBTQ Philanthropy awardees. This year's awardees include Michael Kalb for the Philanthropist of the Year Award, Nikki Lopez for the Commitment to Cause Award, Floatorama for the Next Generation of Philanthropy Award, and Larry Heyer for the Dick Schwartz Award for Lifetime Achievement. Our fund is one of the largest legacy giving nonprofits in America. Your estate planning and legacy giving allows the Our Fund Foundation to fund vital LGBTQ plus projects for today and forever. You can learn more about our fund and get general admission tickets starting at $75. Further details are available at our-fund.org.
LGBTQ plus 1 Minute News. Let's queer up travel. Visit Lauderdale unveils Fantastic 5 initiatives. Visit Lauderdale ensures that every queer person visiting Greater Fort Lauderdale experiences the true essence of what the region stands for. As a result, it unveiled dynamic 2024 marketing plans at the annual marketing luncheon on January 24th, 2024, hosted by the one and only Stacey Ritter. Visit Lauderdale's president and CEO. The luncheon outlined the Fantastic 5 initiatives for the year. These inclusive programs promise a vibrant and diverse cultural experience. The first, Rose Parade success, celebrated accolades for this debut, reaching 26 million viewers and highlighting inclusivity. The second, Global Activations, features creative events like a limited edition car, concert tour sponsorship, and collaborations in key markets. The third was Come Be You campaign, evolving from everyone under the sun, focusing on global impact through diversity and personal freedoms. The fourth, IPW host, marks Greater Fort Lauderdale's hosting the prestigious 2026 IPW trade show. Lastly, the Lauderdale anthem, performed by Emmy-nominated Alexander Starr, celebrates the destination's vibrant community and diverse cultures. Get ready for a year of unforgettable experiences.
LGBTQ plus 1 Minute News. Let's queer up sports. NFL announces Pride Night at Super Bowl with no openly gay players present. While we appreciate any effort toward LGBTQ plus recognition, the NFL is hosting its third A Night of Pride event leading up to Super Bowl 58 on February 7th appears ironic as the league still lacks openly gay players. Despite the NFL's promise to spotlight advances in LGBTQ plus inclusion, critics question the actual progress made. GLAAD's partnership with the NFL aims to create LGBTQ plus friendly spaces, but past Pride Nights in sports faced backlash, challenging organizations like the NFL to align actions with words. As GLAAD's Toni Morrison emphasized in his last year's tweet on May 18th, true LGBTQ plus rights and inclusion require bold steps. The NFL must heed these lessons and move beyond symbolic gestures to genuinely supporting LGBTQ plus individuals.
LGBTQ plus 1 minute news. Let's clear up the USA View. The Playboy empire's wife reveals if Hugh Hefner was gay. Despite projecting an aggressively heterosexual image, the late Playboy magnate Hugh Hefner was an unexpected advocate for LGBTQ plus rights and an early supporter of same-sex marriage. Crystal Hefner, his ex-wife, surprised LGBTQ plus America when she revealed in an exclusive interview that Hugh occasionally experimented with men during orgies. She elaborated on his openness in her memoir, Only Say Good Things, Surviving Playboy and Finding Myself. While Hugh maintained a public persona, behind closed doors he embraced a broader sexuality. Crystal highlighted his inclusive attitude, saying he was a very, very open person who challenged stereotypes. That is today's news for the LGBTQ plus community on the world's first and only daily LGBTQ plus evening news show.
If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Are you, like most of America, part of our very large television audience watching this live LGBTQ plus news broadcast right now on Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, or Amazon Fire TV?
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ plus digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines. We need your support if our community is to grow. We must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world.
This is the only place in the world that tells these types of LGBTQ plus stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm your anchor here at Queer News Tonight, FayWhat? And on behalf of these LGBTQ plus reporters, the incredible anchors of Queer News Tonight, including Robert Kesten, Dr. Tai Houser, Dale Stine, and Gregg with 2 G's Shapiro. We will see you daily at 8 p.m. To our LGBTQ plus world, we wish you good night.
Good night.
Buenas noches.